Coming up today on Good Morning BU.
A tragic shooting at Florida State University leaves 2 people dead.
The Department of Justice sues Maine to ban transgender athletes from women's sports.
The Boston Marathon is finally here and our correspondent is at the finish line.
Want to be as fit as the runners? Our lifestyle correspondents have all the tips.
And the legendary play-by-play announcer for the BU men's hockey team is in studio for a live interview.
Live from Studio West in the College of Communication, Good Morning BU starts right now.
Welcome to Good Morning BU. I'm Natalie Lett.
And I'm Kara Mim. Here are today's top stories. An active shooter opened fire at Florida State University yesterday afternoon. 2 people are dead and 6 are injured. Police said both people killed were not students. The suspect taken into custody is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, an FSU student and son of a Leon County deputy. He was a longtime member of the Sheriff's Office's Youth Advisory Council, allowing him regular access to weapons. Police say the gun was his mother's former service weapon. Eichner remains in the hospital with critical but non-life-threatening injuries after he was shot by responding officers. Officials and lawmakers have sent condolences and promised to prosecute the person responsible.
An immigration judge denied bond on Wednesday to Rumeysa Öztürk, the international tough student who was arrested by immigration officers last month. Öztürk's lawyers say their request for bond was rejected on the basis that Öztürk was a flight risk and a danger to the community. The Department of Homeland Security has not provided any more evidence for Öztürk's arrest. She was detained after writing a pro-Palestinian op-ed in Tufts newspaper. Her lawyers say the deportation would violate her First Amendment free speech rights. Öztürk's case has now been moved to Vermont. Lawyers are now requesting a U.S. district judge in Vermont to take jurisdiction of the case and release her before her trial.
In another recent ruling, a federal judge has found probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt for violating deportation orders. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg accused the administration on Wednesday of rushing alleged gang members to an El Salvador prison under the Aliens Enemies Act. The White House says it plans to immediately appeal. The ruling comes as the Trump administration continues to test how far it can push against orders it doesn't agree with.
In an update to an ongoing investigation, police arrested the man accused of setting Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's house on fire. Suspect Cody Balmer called 911 nearly an hour after the fire on Sunday, saying that he won't support Shapiro's stance of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Balmer told police, quote, "Our people have been put through too much by that monster," in an alleged reference to Shapiro. Shapiro has said that he supports a 2-state solution for the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's unclear what connection Balmer has to the Palestinian territories. The New York Times says Balmer has been treated for mental illness and charged for assaulting family members. The fire broke out just hours after Shapiro and his family held their Passover Seder at home.
Another update to an ongoing story. A man from Maryland was mistakenly deported to a prison in El Salvador. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been held in prison for over a month with no outside communication. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen met with Abrego on Thursday night to check on his well-being. However, when Senator Van Hollen first attempted to meet with Abrego Garcia, he was denied access.
But we were stopped by soldiers at a checkpoint about 3 kilometers from the Seacott prison.
The Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return after they admitted in court that his deportation was a mistake.
In more national news, the Trump administration is suing Maine for refusing to ban transgender athletes from participating in girls' sports. The administration says the state is violating an anti-discrimination law by letting transgender girls on girls' teams. The lawsuit further escalates the feud between President Donald Trump and Maine Governor Janet Mills.
Today, the Department of Justice is announcing a civil lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education. The state of Maine is discriminating against women by failing to protect women in women's sports. Pretty basic stuff.
Mills called the federal government's actions unlawful and added, quote, "We'll see you in court." Maine officials say they have no plans to comply with the ban, even if it means they may lose federal funding.
The International Golf Foundation confirmed Tuesday that a mixed-gender golf team event will debut at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. The competition will be split into two 18-hole rounds played by a team of one male and one female, who qualified for the single events. IGF Executive Director Anthony Scanlon says golf has been growing since its reintroduction at the Rio Games in 2016, and that he's excited to bring more attention to the sport. Golf is one of 6 mixed events that were added to the event list, which the International Olympic Committee released just last week.
The House of Representatives passed the SAVE Act with a slim majority with a 220 to 208 vote last week. Our interview correspondent George Lehman talked to a BU professor to learn more about how the potential impact for American voters.
Last Thursday, the House of Representatives passed the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, also known as the SAVE Act, which requires voters to provide proof of citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. We spoke to Christine Slaughter, an associate professor of political science at Boston University, about the ways the SAVE Act could potentially affect American voters.
Identification could become a barrier if Americans lack proper documentation that's required under the SAVE Act. Voters who lack passports, younger voters of fewer economic means.
Slaughter says the SAVE Act could also impact women when registering to vote.
Because of requirements of identification and many women changing their names, they may be more susceptible to having to go through additional hurdles to get the required documentation under the SAVE Act. So there are many groups, both on the administrative side, but also on the voter side. The other is the changes that the SAVE Act makes in order to safeguard American elections by decreasing the reliance on mail-in voting or other forms of convenience voting, which we saw expand during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the use of those convenience methods would become less prevalent or require more documentation.
Reporting for GMBU, I'm George Lehman.
Thanks, George. And golf isn't the only sport taking off this weekend. Stick around after the break for all the latest updates on the Boston Marathon.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that the big homie needs help too. You can't just rebound from everything. I know you've been grinding.
Let's go.
But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. I wonder why we waited so long. I'm not wondering anymore. Love, your mind. Let's see how far we can go.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Welcome back. The Boston Marathon kicks off in just 3 days, and the energy in this city is electric. Our very own Sophia Falbo is live on Boylston Street at the finish line. Sophia, how's it looking out there?
Boston is literally buzzing out here, Kara. We are right on Boylston Street by the finish line. We're in just 3 short days. About 30,000 people are also going to be. You heard me right. 30,000 runners are making their way from more than 100 countries and 50 states coming to Boston to run the 129th Boston Marathon this year. But athletes and tourists have already made their way to the city. Just yesterday evening, down the block at the Prudential Center, the view, the very tippy top of it, was the kickoff marathon weekend event with the annual wreath ceremony. 4 gold wreaths made from olive trees all the way in Greece were presented to the Boston Athletic Association from the people of Greece as a gift to the runners. Now, if you're asking yourself why, it's because the Boston Marathon's original roots actually are connected to Greece. Bringing it back to modern times, I have one runner here who came all the way from New Zealand. Could you tell us your name very quickly?
Hi, my name is Daniel.
So nice to meet you. So glad you're here with us. Is this your first time running the race? Have you done this before?
I've done last year and it was so much fun that I come back. So this is my second time. I ran 5 of the other majors as well last year, and this Boston has just the most amazing crowd. Everybody's so much into it, so it's really fun.
What are you looking forward to most ahead of Monday's big race?
The Wesley College Scream Tunnel and the Catch a Kiss.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Yes, it is.
Is there anything you're feeling a little nervous about since you've done this before?
Taking it slow at the beginning when it goes downhill. A lot of people are running too fast and then they suffer at the end of it.
That sounds great advice to all of our runner viewers out there. I don't think I could do it myself, but I give you so much credit. We're wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sophia. I know I'm excited, so it's great to see the city so stoked for this incredible event. Of the 30,000 runners this year, one of those is a BU student. Our campus correspondents caught up with her in her final week of training.
Lacing up and ready to take off, BU junior Esme Marini Rappaport will run the 129th Boston Marathon, tackling the challenge for the very first time.
It was the end of my freshman year. I ran my first marathon with one of my best friends and qualified by a couple minutes, but got kind of cut off, rejected for 2024, and then that just made me want to keep training.
With 6 days of running each week and a carefully planned diet, Esme says she enjoys the routine, but admits the dedication comes with its sacrifices.
I definitely find myself like a little isolated at times. Like I love my friends and I have great friends and I love seeing them, but sometimes I kind of have to make the choice of like, well, I have 3 hours of running tomorrow, like I kind of need to go to bed early.
In preparation for the marathon, she's had Elise Jackson, who works with fitness group My Stride, in her corner every step of the way.
Esme is fast. So looking at kind of her history up to this point, we kind of like worked together in terms of like what is a realistic A goal.
For Esme, Marathon Monday is a chance for the whole city to unite in celebration of running, and no matter the outcome, she's thrilled to be a part of it.
At the end of the day, I'm like, it's just such an honor to be running it. No matter what happens, I'm gonna feel like full at the end, and just to know like my family and friends are gonna be there, and like just an exciting day, honestly.
Esme will join 30,000 runners on Monday morning in Hopkinton to start their 26.2-mile trek through Greater Boston. Reporting for GMBU, I'm Courtney Knight.
Thanks, Courtney, and good luck to Esme on this race. So excited for her. Moving from BU to Harvard, the Trump administration on Monday froze $2.2 billion in federal funding to Harvard University. President Trump's orders came after the university refused to honor its demands to stop its DEI hiring practices and take action against anti-Semitism on campus. The freeze followed funding cuts to other universities, such as Columbia University. Harvard refused these demands because it believes its leaders would undermine the university's intellectual freedom. Harvard's president, Alan Garber, wrote in a statement that no government should dictate what universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue. Harvard's student newspaper, The Crimson, reports that funding poured in following the announcement. In the 24 hours following Garber's statement, the university received more than 3,800 donations, totaling over $1 million.
The Massachusetts State Senate announced on Monday a bill to safeguard reproductive and transgender health care statewide. Filed by Senator Cindy Freeman of Arlington last week, the bill is a direct response to the Trump administration's federal crackdown on reproductive rights and gender-affirming care. The state Senate has dubbed its retaliatory efforts against President Trump's executive orders, Response 2025. The bill is an extension to a law enacted in 2022 to shield Massachusetts residents who seek out-of-state abortion care from lawsuits. This legislation also protects providers and lawyers who represent patients and restricts state agencies from providing patient information to out-of-state and federal entities.
The Boston School Committee approved a $181 million contract that will increase salaries for teachers and paraprofessionals. The Wednesday agreement still needs approval from City Council and comes after more than a year of talks with the teachers union, who ratified the contract April 9th. District administrators and union reps say it will help schools retain staff and increase the pay for the district's lowest paid workers.
The Trump administration cut over $90 million from Massachusetts aid preparedness funds. In response, Governor Maura Healey gave a statement stressing that this money is detrimental to cities plagued by flooding, wildfires, and storms. The fund helps rebuild communities after natural disasters occur, but also ensures against future destruction. This cut will hinder proposed open spaces in South Boston, tributary river barriers, and flood paths in Chelsea. Like the governor, Mayor Michelle Wu affirms that the funding is crucial for the well-being of Massachusetts residents.
And speaking of Boston, I wonder if this week's sunshine is going to stick around for the weekend. Our weather correspondent, Maria Pemberton, has the update. Maria, are you going to tell us some good news?
Well, Kara, I think I can tell you what you want to hear. It's Boston's biggest weekend of the year. Whether you're running the marathon or cheering from the sidelines, I've got your weather forecast covered. Looks like we've finally broken winter's grip. Today we'll see a high of 67 degrees and it'll be a low of 52. It'll be partly cloudy, but hopefully you can still get some time in the sun. Saturday brings some clouds with a warm high of 79 degrees and Sunday shaping up to be 65 and sunny. As for Marathon Monday, expect partly cloudy skies and a perfect 61 degrees. Ideal for hitting Heartbreak Hill or just yelling your heart out at the finish line. Do you guys have any fun Marathon Monday plans?
Honestly, my plan is to people watch. People are super excited for the marathon, so getting to see all that energy going around is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that'll be great. I look forward to that too, but also I'm going to be limping a little bit because I'm running marathon tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. And I heard the weather is kind of going to be perfect. I mean, you said it yourself, so I hope it stays that way. And looking to stay active, if you are, well, stick with us after this short break to get workout tips from our lifestyle correspondents.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Mugar Memorial Library on Wednesday opened its newest exhibition, Textiles Tell Stories. Courtesy of BU's African Studies Department, the exhibition showcases textiles from different eras of African history. The textiles are arranged by different themes in African history, from identity to activism to periods of war. As a culmination of pieces from 18 different countries, Textiles offers a glimpse into Africa's political and cultural diversity. Students can visit the exhibit in Mugar Library until it closes at the end of the academic year.
There's plenty happening on campus this week, and as students start preparing for finals, our lifestyle correspondent, Juliana Balboni, explored FitRec to give us all the workout tips.
BU's Fitness and Recreation Center, better known to students as BU FitRec, is one of the largest college gyms in the country. FitRec is known for its vast facilities, including multiple weight rooms, climbing wall, and indoor track. FitRec at BU also heavily encourages student involvement and community building through programs such as club sports, intramural sports, and fitness classes. Many fitness classes are even taught by BU students, providing an additional opportunity for students to incorporate fitness into their everyday lives. Abby Olson, senior spin instructor at BU, talks about her experience motivating students to make time to work out in their busy everyday lives.
It's just a great way to kind of rebuild community outside of the classroom, and really great stress relief. And I kind of view it as like a party in some ways because we play really fun music and we're just up there dancing on the bike.
FitRec welcomes over 1 million visitors annually, with over 75% of BU students visiting FitRec each year. Kate Durant, Associate Director of Programs at FitRec and personal trainer herself, provides insight on different and creative ways students can get an effective workout when the gym feels just as crowded as students' packed schedules.
So we have really a lot of machines here at FitRec, a ton of equipment for all levels. We have cables, dumbbells, plated equipment, select rise, and it's all here for you to use.
Despite all that BU has to offer in terms of athletic facilities, finding time to exercise on a busy student schedule can be a challenge. However, it seems that students are finding a way to make it work. For Good Morning BU, this is Juliana Balboni, Lifestyle Correspondent.
Thanks, Juliana. And if you see me and Natalie trying out these tips at the gym next week, just know we've been listening to you, okay? Now we'll jog into a quick break, and when we come back, our sports correspondents will interview a key figure in BU men's hockey.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Welcome back. You can't have BU men's hockey without their notorious play-by-play announcer. Our sports correspondents Lily Chapman and Alexa Podolsky are here in studio with the legend himself, Bernie Corbett.
Thanks, Natalie. Here with us today is Bernie Corbett, and he is the voice of Boston University men's hockey.
And he's joined here by his spirit animal, George. Do you mind telling us who George is?
Yeah, that's a good question. Big appearance fee is the check cleared, so he's here. But he's been with me for a long time. I had little problems, respiratory problems. I was in Children's Hospital as a kid. My aunt was a nurse at Children's Hospital, and he's actually the original Curious George. So he's been with me pretty close to my whole life. He's about 2 years younger than me. Who do you think's aging better? Trick question. Yeah.
Well, we are so happy to have you both here today. And you've both been at this for 40 years now. What keeps you coming back year after year?
I just think the passion for it that really, it's part of my DNA. My parents went to BU, my grandfather. We had a member of the athletic council, actually the chair of the athletic council and a trustee that lived in town with us that we're very close friends with. So I started going to the games when I was 7 years old. Coach Parker, who retired in 2013, who I spent 30 years with, he was the captain of the team when I went to my first game, which was a lot funnier when I was 21 and he was 36. It's not as funny now.
Well, this year the team got to play for a national title for the first time since 2015.
And you were telling me on the phone earlier this week that you've been to 7 championship games.
Yeah, called 7, yeah.
Yeah, so how does this team compare to the others that you've covered in the past?
I'm glad you didn't bring up my record. It's 2-5. It shows how tough it is to get one of these, and I'm really waiting very anxiously for the third one. But I thought this was really a different type of year. I mean, this team really was maddeningly inconsistent. Friday night frights, I guess you could say. They lost 8 games on Friday nights. They had a tough time answering the bell to start the weekend series often. But they seemed to overcome all that, and it's such a long and winding, as I refer to it, college hockey season. They played their best at the end of the year in order to advance from Toledo to the regional and to beat Penn State and get to a championship game.
Absolutely.
Very proud of them.
Yeah, definitely. And with Shane LeChance, Devin Kaplan, Ryan Green, and Quinn Hudson now playing in the pros, they've signed off, leaving behind a very young team. Who do you think is going to be ready next year to step up into their roles?
Well, it's going to be tough to not have underclassmen because there's really a paucity of seniors in the program right now once again. Gavin McCarthy, Jack Harvey have played regular roles for 2 years. They're going to be juniors. I think they may be likely to get the letters on the sweater. But you're probably going to have maybe a presence of another sophomore captain. Shane LeChance was the first one in history. You might have that. And with the transfer portal, Sasha Bovair is going to come in as a sophomore from North Dakota. Owen McLaughlin will actually come in as a senior. So he's played 3 years of college hockey. So I wouldn't think it would be much of a stretch to maybe have Owen McLaughlin transfer from North Dakota and maybe take on a leadership role as one of the guys that might be one of the captains of the team.
Well, definitely. And we'll have to see if you're right, but I mean, you probably are going to be because no one knows this team better than you do.
Well, broken clocks right twice a day too. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I second that. Well, it has been such a pleasure talking to you and George.
Absolutely.
And now we're
he hasn't
toss
said
it back
as much.
To you guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
There you go.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, ladies.
Well, thank you, Lily, Alexa, and Bernie, all for coming here today and speaking to us. I mean, BU men's hockey, they're great, they're amazing. But have you heard of BU synchronized diving? Because that's what Natalie's on, and they have a showcase there next week, right?
Next week, yeah. So I'm going to be spending my weekend getting ready for that, getting the routine really locked in. You know, synchronized swimming isn't the easiest thing. It's a lot of holding your breath when you're trying to like survive and look pretty. So it's definitely a challenge, but we've had a really good season. We had nationals a couple weeks ago.
And how'd you do?
We did good.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely
Good.
did not beat those Olympians from Ohio State University and Stanford.
That's
but
understandable, though.
I think
We'll
we
let it
held our
slide.
own for sure. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. What are you up to this weekend?
Well, like I said, I'm running my marathon, and then after that, I'm taking a long break off. I think I need to like not run for at least 2 weeks. I've been having a little bit of some injury issues, so I need to give it a rest, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Summer will be a great chance to do that.
It will.
What are you up to this summer?
Not really sure yet, but maybe back on the marathon grind. Maybe after a break, I'll be back at it. But thank you so much for everyone who's watching today and from all of us here on the GMBU team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for our final show.